Bonjour à toutes et à tous et bienvenue dans ce nouvel épisode d'Enderal Forgotten Stories. J'espère que vous allez bien. Pour ma part, c'est un plaisir de vous avoir en ma compagnie pour ce nouvel épisode, pour cette aventure. Je l'espère, sera aussi riche que les précédents épisodes. Merci à toutes celles et ceux qui m'accompagnent durant ce voyage. J'espère que cela vous plaît. Si tel est le cas, n'hésitez pas à vous abonner, à liker, voire à partager le contenu. Cela permettra de faire grandir la chaîne. Surtout, cela fait extrêmement plaisir. Merci à toutes celles et ceux qui en font la démarche. Dans le précédent épisode, on a fait une partie des fragments du passé, et maintenant on va faire la parole des morts. Donc c'est une continuité de la quête principale. Je trouvais que c'était plus logique. Oui, en fait on a le choix, soit on fait celui-là, soit on fait celui-là. Y a pas, tu prends les deux quêtes et puis basta. Ce qui est assez compréhensible. Donc on va faire ça, et je crois que ça doit avoir un rapport avec la crypte d'Arc. Pour ceux qui ont vu cette vidéo, parce qu'on était allé dedans, il y a un endroit, je vous montre directement. Voilà, la demeure des oublis. Fragments perdus. Et là on parle de fragments. Le raccourci est très vite fait. Le raccourci est très vite fait. Je peux me tromper naturellement. Naturellement, je peux me tromper. Le brigand errant. Pareil, là, je sais absolument pas si c'est un livre que je connais. C'est un livre que je ne connais pas. Par contre, les trucs de Torgan, je connais. Les trucs d'or, j'ai déjà. Le brigand errant. Bah, attends. Parce qu'il ouvrit les yeux, regardant un, il voit tout son corps prisonnier. Quels sont un simple pillage. Ah ouais, ça, je l'ai déjà lu. Il s'est rendu compte qu'en fait, ils étaient tombés sur un os. Magistra là, tu veux pas me parler.
So what's so spectacular about this?
Oh.
To me, our pal here looks like your average crypt corpse.
Well, he isn't. Do you see this marking on his forehead? That's a symbol of the Ashian, one of the two priest castes who reigned over the Pyrean Empire like the Lightborn did over Vin. He was no high priest, but more than an acolyte. Let's just hope he participated in the manufacture of the sigil stone back in the Pyrean era.
Well, hoping can't hurt.
I hope so, but what are you doing here, man?
But look, we have company.
Jak3rKhan, Archmagister, how's the situation?
Walk blessed, Grandmaster.
Oh punaise!
We're fine. Everything is ready. So this is him?
Yes, this is the Prophet.
Interesting. Truly interesting. I imagined you to be different. I'm Lexiel Marigil, Archmagister of the Holy Order. Pleased to make your acquaintance. So, where do we start? Has the Grandmaster already informed you of the goal of this mission?
Non. Nous sommes supposés trouver un souvenir dans la tête de ce vieux Pyrrhien, parce qu'il connaît les mots manquants du rituel.
Correct. Now you're wondering how will this be possible? This is where the word of the dead comes into play. An old relic we'll need to find.
The word of the dead? I thought that was a legend.
No, it exists. And we also know where. Just so you understand, the word of the dead is an artifact that allows entering a deceased person's mind to relive his last memories as if they were your own.
And you want to do just that with our frozen pal here. This is the grand plan, right?
Right. You'll need to locate the word of the dead, teleport the Pyrean's body to you, and then enter his thoughts. And there you'll have to look for the words of the ritual.
En partant du principe que, d'une manière ou d'une autre, j'entre dans ces souvenirs, qu'est-ce que je dois chercher exactement?
Well, we only lack the last words of this ritual. What you have to look for is an ornamental scroll, which looks just like the one on the drawing I'll give you in a moment. All you have to do is remember the glyphs and the scroll, then write them down once you're back in the waking world.
Ça paraît audacieux.
You're telling me. I myself feel like a myriad in a toad's pond. But alternatively, we'd have to excavate every ruin on Vin and hope that some priest left one of the scrolls behind.
Pourquoi ce rituel a-t-il besoin de mots? La magie que je connais est plutôt silencieuse.
True, but we're talking about a different form of magic. It works similarly to the forbidden school of entropy.
Comment suis-je censé me repérer dans ces souvenirs? Je ne parle pas à Pyrie.
That's right, but the priest himself did. And according to the legend, this should allow you to understand.
Ok, très bien. On pourra nous trouver ça.
Well, this is...
There's an old manor in Enderal's west that belongs to an old collector of artifacts. We received a tip that the word of the dead is in his possession.
Hang on. Are you talking about this odd fellow with the puppets? The aged man from the folk song?
I am.
Donc nous devons nous rendre au manoir et d'une manière ou d'une autre lui prendre l'artefact.
You won't take it. It will be enough to find it. Use it on the Pyrean and then leave. You will travel to the manor with Jak3rKhan, wait for nightfall, and then introduce yourself to the aged man as a fellow collector of artifacts. Then you will offer him this brooch, and if all goes well, he will offer you a quarter for the night to negotiate in the morning. Then it's all a matter of timing. Sneak out of your room, look for the word of the dead, and teleport the Pyrean to you.
Oh, ça va pas l'air aussi facile que ça, mon rang. Pourquoi tous ces secrets? L'ordre ne peut pas juste forcer l'ancien à lui donner l'artefact?
A good question, but no. The aged man is special, so to speak. Even the Lightborn ordered us to let him live in peace. The Black Guardian knows why. So, if we have to trick him, we will at least do it inconspicuously, which is why you and the mercenary are well suited for the task. No one will connect your faces to the Holy Order.
Sauf si je suis sapé en gardien. Et que faisons-nous si quelque chose tourne mal?
Then you'll flee. There must be no violence, no matter what happens.
Et comment exactement suis-je censé utiliser cette parole des morts sur le Pyrrhien?
Archmagister?
Yes? Well, that is a good point. We don't know, because we don't even know what the artifact looks like. But, how goes the saying? The proof of the eating is in the pudding.
We'll manage somehow. And even if we don't, it definitely sounds like an adventure.
It's a great responsibility, be aware of that. But I have faith in both of you. Now get going as soon as you can. This mission will be fruitful. I can feel it.
And there they go.
Alors, on y va?
Yep, just meet me at the Myrids Tower at the Western Cliff. I'll go grab my stuff now.
Ouais, ça m'a pas l'air d'être aussi simple, hein, qu'ils l'ont dit. Et donc... Caractéristiques humaines? Le Dwemer? En tout cas, humanoïde, bipède. Ouais, des caractéristiques humaines.
Yes?
Vous n'êtes pas andraléen, n'est-ce pas? Vous avez un léger accent.
I do? Thought I had gotten rid of it by now. But yes, I'm originally from Nehrim. Just like you, as I've heard.
Ah, pourquoi ne me l'aviez-vous pas dit?
Oh, I don't know. Probably because I don't have very fond memories of my time there. You know, if someone would have told you 20 years ago that one day I would be the Archmagister of the Holy Order, you'd have probably laughed in his face. It's absurd just to think of it. You know, I was a slave there.
Moi aussi, tiens.
Yes, you see, I was born into a traveling group of Aeterna minstrels. I never got to know my father, though, and living that way was hard. So my mother eventually decided to burn all bridges behind us and start over. Sorry, I'm babbling. I don't want to bother you with my boring stories.
Non, c'est moi qui ai demandé, vous ne m'ennuyez pas. Qu'est-il arrivé après votre départ? En plus, on a à peu près la même histoire.
Well, after some days on the road, we met a traveling merchant who gave us a ride to the next village. A small one named Sildren in the Salathan forest. It seemed almost perfect at the beginning. The place was quiet, and my mother found herself a job as a weaver in the local count's castle. One day, however, the count simply stopped paying her, and, well, when she asked for the reason, he told her that we were his property from that moment on, just like that.
Il a fait de vous des esclaves. C'est possible ça?
Why wouldn't it be? We were just a woman and a young son, and he owned both the land and the local guard. We had to serve this Creole, that was the Count's name, for 9 years. It was horrible.
Il a égorgé et personne n'est venu vous aider.
No. No one. We weren't the only slaves he kept, and the villagers were too afraid to do anything. As for Chancellor Baratheon's armies, well, I'd be surprised if they even knew children existed.
Je suis navré de l'entendre. Comment vous en êtes-vous tiré?
Pure luck, I suppose. One day, an Enderalian merchant and his escort passed through the village. They were on their way to Wave Rock to catch a ship from there. And just by coincidence, he saw me crushing some herbs I had found in the forest. That's what I did in the little spare time I had, you know. The Salathan forest is so incredibly rich with plants, you have no idea. What I didn't know was that I had found an entire sheaf of God's tongue. That impressed the merchant so much that he simply bought me.
Et qu'en est-il de votre mère?
He left her there. Believe me, what he did had nothing to do with mercy. He just saw that there was money to be made off of me. I cried and protested, of course, but 2 months later, our ship arrived in Ark, where he got infected with flesh maggots and died shortly thereafter. Luckily enough, he was a sublime. And since his relatives didn't know what to do with me once he was dead, they simply asked the Order to grant me the novitiate, which they did. How the left path sounds crazy when I tell it like that, and it probably is. But back then, it just happened.
Et votre mère? Avez-vous appris ce qui lui est arrivé?
I tried, but as you can imagine, my obligations made my options to do so very limited. Only recently, however, word reached me from a mercenary whom I sent over. According to him, Creo is dead, and his castle was deserted. But who knows if he just said that to appease me. I think when all of this is over, I might ask the Grandmaster for permission to travel there myself. And then, who knows? By the righteous path, now I really am babbling. I am sure a man like you has better things to do than listen to the stories of a boring old chronicler. I should probably get back to business. Forgive me.
Oh, c'était très intéressant. Surtout, on a à peu près la même histoire hein, quand j'y pense. Oula, oula. Stop it. Okay. Ok. Cette bouquin, c'est où? Oh, voilà, ça commence à... Les frames commencent à pleurer.
Wherever you look, where is this supposed to lead?
Ouais, mais je suis plus un égaré. I am a keeper of the order. You can't tell me that now. Voilà. Voilà, voilà. Pas de nouveaux bouquins en vue. Pas de nouveaux bouquins en vue.
Prophet?
Oui, c'est moi. Pas d'autographe, désolé. I will not give any autographe. Voilà, juste s'il n'y a pas des nouveaux bouquins à prendre. Bien que, par moment, je trouve quand même assez long. Encore une fois, hein, je trouve qu'ils ont fait un travail remarquable et remarqué. Juste. Surtout les bouquins sur le boucher d'arc, presque 20 minutes hein, quand même pour pouvoir tout lire. C'est long, et moi qui justement suis fier de ma capacité de lecture, quand même long. Pas de vagabond. « 75 » What? What? On n'aura jamais ça. Je vois vraiment pas pourquoi. Je mettrais 75 points dans ça.
May his light guide you.
Ouais. 75. Ils ont piqué. Ils ont littéralement piqué les plombs dans le jeu. On sait où? Ah bah tiens, on va y aller. Ah bah c'est l'occasion de faire la quête là de l'autre là, comment il s'appelle? Diviser pour conquérir. Ça va sur la route. On va y aller à pied plutôt qu'à deux demi-rades. Quoique. Attends, voilà. La fois j'oublie, je peux pas le faire comme ça. J'y vais à pied. Ah. Non, c'est urgent. Mince, on pourrait plus faire ça directement. Attends, la synopsis. Non, j'irai directement à la tour de Mirade. Hein. Diviser pour conquérir. On le fera après. Être là. En espérant qu'on soit toujours dans la région. Et puis ça là, ouais non. Enfin, j'ai vu qu'il y avait un mode pour pouvoir augmenter le nombre d'affinités possibles. Je peux pas l'utiliser. Je ne sais pas quel impact que ça aura sur le gameplay. Padam. Ah, mais je suis sapé en gardien de l'ordre, moi. Je vais me saper en nomade mystérieux. C'est... Généralement, il y a un coffre en face, en tout cas à proximité des tours de Mirade.
So much to do, so little time.
Monsieur,
Sauf ici.
well, there comes a point when you just have to live with it.
Walk blessed. Sure. Where to?
Fonctionne. Falaise occidentale. Ok. Ensuite, on va se saper. Ensemble de l'aventurier. 4% de furtivité. Mais bon, on respire la magie. D'où il sort ce collier? Dis-moi un truc de magie. Et c'était écrit corps à corps sur mon front. Mince. Ah non, c'est pas le truc qu'il faut filer à l'autre là. Histoire de ne pas éveiller ses soupçons. Pas ici. Et hop, on récupère. On va pas prendre le capuchon d'élémentaliste. On va prendre la couronne. C'est parti. Ouais, je suis un mage. Hein.
All ready.
« 17 au lieu de 18. Ok.
Mark? Oh my, how the time flies by.
Ah ouais. Ok. Ok. Bien.
Good evening.
Yo.
Ah, there you are. Ready to go?
Vous avez voyagé un peu avant de revenir ici, n'est-ce pas?
Yeah, I did. Why do you ask?
Je sais pas, je suis curieux. Qu'est-ce qui vous a ramené en Enderal?
That's a good question. I suppose in the end, it was just a hunch I had. Plus, all these civil wars in other countries didn't exactly invite one to stay.
C'est vrai que tu voulais pas aller là en kidé, toi? Qu'est-ce que ça fait de vivre en mercenaire itinérant? Ça doit être dur.
Well, I guess that depends on where you're standing. Of course, times can be tough, especially if you come to a new city or even country where you know nobody. But if you're good at what you do, which I am, there's always work, everywhere. And yeah, I don't eat God's tongue for breakfast, but it was always enough for a roof over my head when I wanted, and some other earthly pleasures. That's what life's all about, isn't it?
Dans quel pays êtes-vous allé?
Now, aren't you inquisitive? Let me think. I spent most of my time abroad in Kira, and also a couple of years on the Isles of Quête. And there was this mission that led me to Maiar Aranath once.
Non plus sur Kira.
What am I, a traveling tome?
Oui.
I'm afraid I'm not a very good storyteller. But Kira's great. The people there are so much freer in their way of thinking. There are the great bazaars, the palaces of the merchant lords, and the fortress of the mages' circles. But you just have to see it for yourself someday.
À quoi ressemble Quillet?
Oof. Different. As beautiful as the Isles are, there's always this feeling of rush and competition. Have you ever heard of the game penny? On Quillet, it's not a crime if a merchant tries to cheat a customer. It's the customer's fault if he doesn't see the fraud. But if he does, the merchant owes him a token penny. Bizarre, isn't it? But over there, it's common practice.
Vous avez été à Miaranat, ce n'est pas désert.
Yeah, it is. I was there with a group of mercenaries. We were hired to get something from a tower in the old capital. Not a nice spot of earth, truly. There's this fog everywhere, and with every step you take, you have to be careful the swamps don't get the better of you. But of course, that's also what makes it exciting.
Ah, il aime le danger, lui.
Keep your chin up.
Quelle est l'histoire derrière votre cicatrice?
The scar. Well, let's put it this way. If you one day end up in a Talgalean tavern and two 6-foot-tall Arazalian women invite you into their room, you should either damn well know who they are or make a run for it.
Ça rigole. Oh.
Never heard of it? It's the capital of Araziel. At least if you ask the civilized people.
Ok. Laissez-moi deviner, ça n'était pas le cas pour vous?
Hands up. Guilty. Some rich snob had hired me back then to bring him a totem from one of the camps of the free people. That is, the Arazelians who worship their ancestors' gods, instead of the Lightborn, and live as nomads. No idea how much you know about Araziel, but the free people have been in conflict with the civilized people, who do worship the Lightborn, for centuries now. Assassinations, blood feuds, and so on. The usual if two sides both believe they know it all better. Anyway, obviously this job of mine originated from that feud. The totem belonged to a free tribe, and the snob wanted it in order to publicly defile it. So I got it for him.
Voilà, et vous n'avez pas eu de remords? Ah non, visiblement.
Oh, why, of course. I still cried myself to sleep months after
Ah,
that.
le bâtard.
Seriously, why should I? Both the free and civilized are so eager to bash each other's heads in. It's not like one defiled totem, more or less, would have made any difference.
Aucun respect. Et je suppose que ces deux Arazéliens venaient du peuple libre.
Correct. And I was a little drunk and a little lonely, if you get what I mean. Have you ever seen a pure-blooded Arazelian woman in her 20s? It's really hard to say no to that. In any case, as you already noticed, the whole thing went down differently than expected. My face made acquaintances with a table leg and 4 absolutely untender women's feet and hands. And of course the totem was gone, together with all my clothing and money. I guess I had that coming somehow.
Karma.
That's what happens if you ask your loins rather than your head in the wrong situations.
Ils ont pris vos vêtements.
Yeah.
Vous le prendriez mal si je trouvais ça drôle? Eh bien, pas de chance, j'imagine. Être Yves en pleine mission. Pas très professionnel, si vous voulez mon avis. Vous le prendriez mal si je trouvais ça drôle?
Oh, whoa, such a cold world this is. I present you my deepest scars, you thank me with naught but mockery. Be damned, O impish creature. But anyway, how does the saying go? A truly beautiful face can never be tarnished.
Pas mal. Content de voir que ça ne vous a pas coûté beaucoup d'estime.
Facts remain facts.
Bon, allez, on y va.
Wonderful. Here, this is the place where the aged man's manor is supposed to be. Lead on. I'll follow you.
Punaise, c'est toi qui as fait ce bruit-là, mon grand. Bon. Au bout de la route. Non, pas par là. Et quelle heure? Il est 19h. Attends. Ah, où je passe, moi? C'est quoi?
Huh? Keep your chin up.
La route est où? Et cette route-là, mais je la rejoins comment? En fait, si, je sais comment j'arrive. C'est parti, puis on tourne à droite, c'est ça? Ouais. La mission d'abord. Des... Ouais. On a du danger. Ah bah voilà. Pam, pam, pam. Bien. On va continuer notre route vers le manoir en question pour la mission. Au prochain épisode les amis, merci d'avoir regardé cette vidéo, passez une excellente journée ou soirée quel que soit l'endroit où vous vous trouvez. Portez-vous bien et surtout n'oubliez pas d'être à l'affût du fun, je vous dis à très bientôt pour la suite de nos aventures. Au revoir.